Stop worshipping gold. When society loses power, supply, and order, a piece of gold very likely cannot trade for a mouthful of clean water. But those little things you usually look down on will instead be frantically grabbed. In today's video, I will tell you after the collapse, which 7 kinds of cheap goods will be worth more than gold. The first item, heirloom seeds. Many people stockpile food. Their first reaction is canned goods, instant noodles, and compressed biscuits. That's right, these things are very important in the early stage. But once time drags on, what is truly valuable is no longer ready-made food, but the ability to produce food. A packet of ordinary heirloom tomato seeds might only cost a few dollars, but it is not one meal. It is a source of food for an entire season. If you take out a pack of seeds today, what others see is not dozens of tiny things, but vegetables that can keep growing in the future. That is why, in many places with economic collapse and material shortages, people who can grow vegetables, people with seeds in their hands, can always find their footing faster. You can plant on the roof, you can plant on the balcony, you can plant in the corner of the yard. Even in old buckets and old boxes, a packet of the right seeds equals a long-term meal ticket. But here is a key point. Don't buy blindly. Make sure to buy traditional varieties that can produce seeds, not those hybrid varieties that are unstable. Because what you really want is not to plant once, but to be able to plant generation after generation. When the crisis first comes, people might still look down on seeds. They are all frantically grabbing ready-to-eat food. But 3 months later, when the cans hit the bottom and vegetables start to become scarce, the value of the person with seeds will change. The second item, over-the-counter medicine and basic first aid supplies. Many people think that in times of chaos, the most dangerous things are fighting and robbery. Actually, what is more common and more fatal are those minor illnesses and injuries usually taken for granted. A worn-out heel, a small untreated cut, a high fever, an episode of diarrhea and dehydration, usually settled in a few minutes at a pharmacy. But once pharmacies run out of stock and hospitals shut down, these small problems will rapidly escalate. What you need to prepare is not a complex and expensive professional medical kit, but a basic combination that an ordinary person can use. Ibuprofen, acetaminophen, anti-allergy medicine, antibacterial ointment, gauze, tape, band-aids, electrolyte powder, and anti-diarrheal supplies. These things are usually so cheap, they are unnoticeable. But when they are truly lacking, one pill might be traded for a meal. A tube of antibacterial ointment might be traded for someone else's gratitude and a favor. Don't think this is an exaggeration when things are truly chaotic. Medicine is not a commodity. Medicine is time. It is relieving pain. It is preventing deterioration. It is letting someone hold on for one more day. And holding on for one more day sometimes equals staying alive. The third item, hygiene products, is the category most easily overlooked, but it has an especially stable actual demand. Soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, toilet paper, wet wipes, female hygiene products, razors. These things are too common in normal times. So common, you don't feel their importance. But once supply is cut off, people will quickly discover filth and dishevelment are not just uncomfortable. They will directly drag down emotions, drag down dignity, drag down the mental state. And once the mental state collapses, a person's judgment and ability to act will drop. To be more realistic, hygiene products are high-frequency necessities, and they are suitable for split trading. A bar of soap, a pack of tissues, a few sanitary pads, a small tube of toothpaste can all be traded individually. This kind of item has another advantage, which is that many tough guy survival lists don't value it, but people who have truly experienced harsh environments all know. If you can't even brush your teeth, if you can't even clean your body, life will become very miserable. What you are selling is not just supplies, but also dignity, and dignity is actually more expensive in troubled times. The fourth item, salt and seasonings. When some people hear this, they will think it is too ordinary, but truly powerful hard currency is often this ordinary. So ordinary that most people are too lazy to stockpile it. What is salt for? Not just for seasoning. It can also replenish electrolytes, preserve food, and handle some wound cleaning issues. Cooking cannot do without it. Curing cannot do without it. Moreover, salt almost never goes bad. It stores well and is easy to portion out. It is especially suitable as a trading unit. You can divide big bags into small individual packets to trade for things at any time. It doesn't look expensive, but the more food and drink are lacking, the more people cannot do without salt, especially when eating a single type of food for a long time. A little salt, a little chili powder, a little pepper, a little garlic powder can make things that were originally hard to swallow become edible. Don't look down on this point. In a crisis, it is not just the body that needs to hold on. The appetite and emotions also need to hold on. A pot of tasteless porridge and a pot of hot rice with salt and spice. The state they give people is completely different. When it truly reaches the later stage, seasoning is not selling taste. It is selling appetite. It is selling morale. It is the will to keep eating. The fifth item, small bottles of high-proof alcohol. Many people will misunderstand this at first, thinking it is only for drinking. Actually, it is not. The power of small bottles of alcohol lies in the fact that it has many uses. It can be drunk, it can disinfect, it can temporarily relieve pain, it can clean, it can assist in starting a fire. Small bottles are especially suitable for trading. It is not easy to take out too much. It is convenient for controlling risk. Why not large bottles? Because large bottles are not convenient to split and are too eye-catching. Small bottles like 50 milliliters are actually the most practical. One bottle is one trading unit. Taking it out is not an exaggeration. Hiding, it is also convenient. Don't disbelieve it. In many times of economic failure in history, alcohol has turned into a semi-currency. Because its value is intuitive, everyone knows it, and it is easy to preserve, especially in high-pressure and chaotic environments. Its demand is very stable. Some use it for disinfection, some to calm nerves, some to trade for relationships. Of course, a reminder here, this material is suitable as a tool and trading item. It is not encouraging you to stockpile it and drink heavily yourself. The point is not the drinking. The point is the multiple uses, the high recognizability, and the ease of trading. The sixth item, water purification tablets. If you don't want to buy anything for your home, then at least prepare this first. Because if food is a little short, one can still endure, but not with water. Especially dirty water. Many people's imagination of a crisis stops at having no food. But in reality, what most easily breaks out in the early stage of collapse are water issues. Water cutoffs, pipe pollution, standing water mixing with filth. River water cannot be drunk directly, and once you drink unclean water, diarrhea comes fast. Especially for the elderly and children. The strongest point of these tablets is they are cheap, light, small, and the effect is direct. One tablet down is 1 liter of safe water. It might not be the most comfortable way. The taste might not be that good. But at a critical moment, this thing is worth not money, but life. More importantly, it is especially suitable for trading because everyone needs water. The water purification tablets in your hand are not selling a pill. But whether one can safely drink water today, many things in troubled times fluctuate. Some people want them, some don't, but the demand for clean water is universal. As long as there is a problem with the water, the price will go up. The speed of the rise will be very fast. The seventh item, disposable lighters. If the previous 6 items are hard currency, then this is the king of hard currency because it is too cheap, too practical, too universal, too easily underestimated. But when it truly comes to a chaotic environment, fire is life. You need fire to boil water, cook, and for warmth. You need fire for lighting and to deter wild animals and certain dangers. Even in many cases, what you need is not a pile of expensive equipment. You only need to get the fire started, like a common lighter. In normal times, you might not even bother to look for it if lost. But when power and gas are cut off, it suddenly becomes the most direct productivity. And its biggest advantage is that everyone knows how to use it. No teaching needed, no explanation needed, no cost to establish trust. When you take it out, the other party immediately knows this thing is useful, immediately knows what it is worth. This is the most ideal trading item. Intuitive, stable, universal. Plus, it can be stored separately. You can prepare 10, 20, or 50 at a time. The cost is not high, but once the environment worsens, its return will be very exaggerated. Moreover, the lighter has an advantage, which is that it is less scary than many professional survival tools. If you pull out a ferro rod, some people might not necessarily understand the value. If you pull out a lighter, no one will fail to understand. This is the underlying universal currency logic. The simpler, the more popular, the easier it is to circulate. Speaking of this, you might have discovered a pattern. What is truly valuable is not what looks expensive, but what can solve a problem immediately. Not what has collection value, but what has use value. Not what gives you face when taken out in normal times, but what can do the job at a critical moment. So for these 7 things, if you want to arrange a core logic, they are actually just 3 categories. Things that let people eat, things that let people hold on, and things that let people maintain dignity. And these 3 things, in troubled times, are all more realistic than gold. But just knowing what to buy is not enough. There is one more important thing, which is how to trade. Because many people don't die from lack of supplies, but die from trading too stupidly. Rule 1. Don't trade at your own doorstep. You seek convenience today. Tomorrow others might figure out where you live, where the supplies are, and how many people are in the family. In times of chaos, don't gamble on human nature. Rule 2. Don't let others know how much you have. When you go out to trade, only bring that little bit you intend to exchange. Always let people think you only have this much left. The more your inventory looks like a bottomless pit, the less others will want to trade fairly with you. And the more likely they are to directly harbor bad intentions. Rule 3. Try not to go alone. One person talks. One person watches the surroundings. This is the most basic safety habit. Rule 4. Don't touch weapons trading. This rule is the most important. Don't be tempted just because the price offered by the other party is high. The knife and bullets you trade out today might be used against you tomorrow, might return to your own body tomorrow. You are not doing a piece of business. You are creating a future threat. And one last reminder, the reason these 7 things are strong is not because they are magical, but because they all satisfy a cruel reality. After people lose order, demand will rapidly shrink. In the end, only the most basic layers remain. Water, fire, medicine, food, hygiene, emotional stability, and long-term production capacity. Whoever holds these in their hands is not the one passively waiting for rescue. Whoever holds these is more qualified to negotiate terms. So stop asking whether you should stockpile gold after a collapse. If you don't even have water purification tablets, if you haven't even stocked 2 extra bars of soap, if you only have that 1 lighter left in the kitchen, then no matter how bright the gold is, it cannot light up the life you truly have to live. Among these 7 things, if you could only buy 3 first, which 3 would you choose first? Tell me in the comments section. If you want to see the next episode, I can continue to make for you the 10 most worthwhile foods to stockpile after a collapse, or the household supply list that is most easily overlooked but can truly save lives.